Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 pop artists who reinvented their sound. For this list, we'll be looking at the pop stars who successfully changed up their music. From stylistic shifts to maturing subject matter, these artistic risks paid off. What's an artist and a potential genre that would go well together? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Bruno Mars. They're amazing just the way they are, but the best artists always strive for more.
'Cause you're amazing, just the way you are.
After debuting with a straightforward pop sound, Bruno Mars expanded on several retro genres, starting with his 2012 album, Unorthodox Jukebox. Borrowing elements of disco and soul, it paved the way for his feature on the 2014 mega hit Uptown Funk.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Never one to rest on his laurels, Mars then explored 90s R&B and New Jack Swing on his album 24 Karat Magic, and took it back to the 70s as one half of Silk Sonic. While he easily could have faded into a sea of Jason Derulo's and Neo's, his willingness to keep opening new doors has kept him relevant long after his initial peers.
I'ma leave the door open, girl.
Number 9, Harry Styles. You know it's not the same as it was.
No, it's not the same as it was.
Despite being the fan favorite of One Direction, few could have predicted Harry Styles' solo efforts to be taken seriously, and that they would be mostly successful. Rather than continuing the teen pop of his boy band days, Styles' 2017 solo debut Sign of the Times paid homage to rock legends like David Bowie and Freddie Mercury.
Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times.
Not only was he able to maintain his fan base, he even won over the Rolling Stones crowd. Styles has since dabbled in several genres, including soft rock, Britpop, folk, and R&B. Going solo takes more than doing the same thing minus your bandmates. And with a last name like Styles, we should have seen it coming.
Can't get you off my mind.
Number 8, Christina Aguilera. From ballads to bops, ex-Tina's voice has proven beautiful in every single way.
I am beautiful, no matter what they say.
While Christina Aguilera's debut album capitalized on the teen pop boom, she would soon go through more evolutions than a Pokémon. First, there was her coming-of-age album Stripped, where she branched out in every possible direction. Seriously, name a genre and it's probably on there.
Get dirty, it's about time for my own.
Aguilera continued the genre hopping on Back to Basics, while adding a classic Hollywood sheen of jazz and soul.
You know what I mean? I can't stand up next to you.
She then attempted Gaga-esque electropop on the cult classic Bionic, and has since dabbled in trap, Latin, and disco. No matter how well it's received, Aguilera is always committed to trying something different. Never can, never will, can't hold her down.
Nobody can hold us down. Never can, never will.
Number 7, Miley Cyrus. Our next artist always takes a wrecking ball to our expectations.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
First foreshadowing her reinventions by living a double life on Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus has bounced from one era to the next without looking back. Most notably, she shed her pure pop beginnings with the blockbuster album Bangers, taking on a controversial hip-hop sound.
We can't stop, and we won't stop.
But rather than dwelling on her newfound niche, she took a hard left into psychedelic territory on Miley Cyrus and Her Dead Pets. After the unlikely experiment, she scaled things back for a soft country pop sound with Younger Now, before settling on a classic rock homage.
My lips on her mouth, everybody's talking now, baby.
Though Cyrus's Plastic Hearts was an exciting start to the 2020s, Endless Summer Vacation and the lead single Flowers bode well for 2023.
I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand.
Number 6, Janet Jackson. Throughout her 4-decade career, Miss Jackson has given us no shortage of nasty grooves across the soundscape.
Nasty boys, give me a nasty groove.
After releasing 2 so-so albums as a teen in the early 80s, Janet broke away from her dadager to become a legend. The result? 1986's Control was an early adopter of the new jack swing genre before its follow-up, Rhythm Nation 1814, went full throttle with the innovative sound, adding layers of rock and industrial over a social justice message. Janet's music continued growing more political, personal, and provocative with each release, namely 1997's The Velvet Rope. Arguably more so than her brother, Janet always danced to the beat of her own drum, setting daring trends and never shying away from tough topics. Number 5. Gwen Stefani. A few times she's been around that track, but you'll never get the same sound back to back. Gwen Stefani's 2004 solo debut threw many for a loop, most notably Courtney Love, who called the former frontwoman of No Doubt a cheerleader. And while not everyone was a fan of the ska singer's transition into a peppy pop star, the move was undoubtedly creative. Stefani certainly challenged her old fans with songs like Holla Back Girl, but thankfully allowed her tried and true heartfelt songwriting to shine through on tracks such as Cool. The punchy sass of her No Doubt material also translated to her solo projects, going deeper on her signature feminist themes in What You Waiting For. Now, isn't that sweet?
Tell me, boy, now wouldn't that be sweet?
Number 4. Cher. She might not have been able to turn back time, but she always stayed ahead of it. Cher's musical trajectory has had numerous twists and turns, rising to fame as one half of a pop duo with then-husband Sonny Bono, as well as a solo artist.
Hey, I got you, babe.
Following the pair's mid-70s divorce, she re-emerged in the 80s with a film career and a new rock sound.
If I could reach the stars, I'd give them all to you.
Although her career briefly dried up in the mid-90s due to health issues, Cher once again proved there was life after love with the smash dance pop hit Believe. With or without a man by her side, the forecast on Cher's longevity has stayed sunny side up.
You believe in life after love.
Number 3. Taylor Swift. From acoustic to synth pop, she never goes out of style.
We never go out of style. We never go out of style.
Taylor Swift didn't wait for her country star to fade before trying new things. Following the success of the pop songs off her Red album in 2012, she went full-blown pure pop on 1989 at the risk of alienating her old fans.
Players gonna play, 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 play. And my haters gonna hate, haters gonna hate.
Not only did the Swifties stay loyal as she shook off her old sound, but she gained many, many more. Each Taylor album since has had such a distinct vibe, like the quarantine cottagecore of folklore, that her sold-out Eras tour is celebrating them all. Whereas some artists cling to the sound of their heyday, she knows the art of reinvention all too well.
Remember it all too well.
Number 2. Madonna. Is there a barrier, boundary, or borderline she hasn't broken?
Just keep on pushing my love over the borderline.
Throughout her 4-decade-plus career, Madonna has earned her place as the queen of pop, among many other things. After spending the 1980s as a dance pop diva, her artistic ambitions soared at the end of the decade.
Like a breath, your voice can take me there.
Touching on gospel with the haunting Like a Prayer, every album since has had an entirely different flavor. Erotica had house and Bedtime Stories saw softer ballads, while Ray of Light was a spiritual experience. Madonna has also returned to her roots between experimental projects, with 2005's Confessions on a Dance Floor becoming her pure pop masterpiece after some had counted her out. Given how quickly Madonna evolves, it's best not to get too hung up on one album. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. David Bowie. Male artists aren't usually under as much pressure to reinvent themselves compared to their female counterparts. That said, David Bowie still went above and beyond to push his limits, even when it wasn't required of him. Besides gliding from glam rock to new wave and more with ease throughout the 70s and 80s, he crafted a handful of alter egos, each with their own otherworldly concept and unique sound. While his Ziggy Stardust persona was reliably glamorous and over the top, he would revise the Major Tom character over the years.
Ashes to ashes, funk to funk.
Bowie kept shape-shifting all the way to his final days, releasing the jazzy album Black Star in 2016 shortly before his death. A once-in-a-lifetime talent, his constant creativity spawned a whole league of rock and roll heroes.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.